Good morning, dear children. This is Manik sir. Today we shall talk about the different communities who are living in Europe. So let us continue with the questions. That is, what are the different kinds of peoples that lives in European country? So dear children, today we shall learn what are the different categories of peoples stay in European countries. So dear children, here we know very well that there are so many kinds of peoples who are living in European countries, and one among them is the aristocracy as well as the new middle classes. So the aristocracies are the most dominant peoples in the societies. They are socially, politically, they are considered the most dominant class in the society, having all kinds of social rights, having all kinds of political rights, enjoying their lives, dominating the societies, becoming the leaders of the societies, ruling the peoples, having all clerical privileges by birth. So here we understand that these aristocracy who are considered the most dominant kind of peoples in the society. So dear children, these aristocracies communities, they are owning thousands and thousands acres of land. They are having own estates, having property, having all kind of wealth all throughout the countries, all throughout the countrysides as well as in towns, dominating the peoples, speaking only the French languages only for the purpose of having diplomatic relationship with others, and their families are often ties up with marriages, and at the same time, though they are smaller in numbers, in spite of that also these aristocracy communities are the most dominant class in the society. When we are going through the textbook, we come to understand that these aristocracy peoples having more properties, dominating these peasantry community, asking them to work under them, and they are the most prominent classes in the societies, having all kind of privileges. So here we understand that they maintain their aristocracy, even though in the countrysides those peoples are very smaller in groups, but they used to maintain their own aristocracy in the society. So dear children, here we understand that these aristocracy peoples are having thousands acres of land, and they used to force these middle classes peoples as well as the very common peoples to work under them and ask them to do the work for them, and at the same times they are becoming the landlords of the societies. They used to dominate the societies, having all political rights, having all social rights, enjoying the social privileges, becoming the dominant communities in the societies. But in spite of all these, we see the another communities that is known as the new middle classes. So these new middle classes who are coming into being with the industrial revolutions. With these industrial revolutions, dear children, we see the arising of the new middle classes who are developing their status, developing their positions, developing their social status in the society, questioning the clerical privileges of these dominant classes, and questioning the powers of the monarchy. So during these times, we see the growing of the new middle classes with these coming up industries in the societies. So dear children, as we are talking about the emerging of these middle classes during the time of nationalism movements in European societies. So dear children, the industrial revolutions, this development of technology, the advancement of technology, it helps these new middle classes to emerge in the societies. So with this development of industries, we see that they are beginning to develop their social status. They are raising income, they are developing their identity, they are doing different kind of trade activities, they are doing different kind of business activities, and they are emerging into a new middle classes. So here the new middle classes are teachers, these students, all these common peoples who are part of these new middle classes who are raising their incomes during these industrial revolutions in European societies. So dear children, those peoples, they work hard, raised their income, develop their status, develop their income, and they develop their identity in the societies. And with the development of their identities, they are rising into a new middle classes. So as we see, we understand that when they begin to develop their identity in the societies, dear children, they are beginning to question the powers of the aristocracy. Just recently, I told you that the aristocracies, who are the dominant class in the society, asking people to work under them. There are so many peoples who are the peasantry groups who are working under the controls of these dominant classes. But with these revolutions of industries, the new middle classes are also raising up to a new level of status. And when they are raising up to a new level of status, so they are questioning the powers of these privileged classes, that is known as the aristocracy. Because the aristocracy, they are the dominant one, they are always enjoying the social status right from the birth here. But with the coming of this development of these middle classes, they are developing their social status in the societies. And when they are developing their incomes, economic situations, so they are now understood that they should also enjoy the equal social rights in the societies. And when they understood their identity, understood their level of income, now they are coming with new ideas. They are fighting for their rights, they are fighting for equality, they are fighting for social and economical status. And with the development of these new middle classes, they are questioning the powers of this aristocracy community in the societies. So dear children, here we understood that with this development of these new middle classes, the national unifications movements which is beginning in European country. Because here, with this development of these new middle classes, they are motivating peoples, inspiring peoples to fight against equality, to fight against inequality in the societies. So with the development of their status in the societies, now they are beginning to question the new rights in the societies. Because dear children, as long as they are being dominated by this aristocracy community, they are keeping quiet, working under the control of landlords. They are not having a sense of unity in the societies. But as soon as they develop themselves with these revolutions of industries, now they are uniting the peoples, becoming the new middle classes, developing their incomes, developing their social status, and they are uniting the peoples to start the national unification movements in all European countries. So yesterday in my previous classes, dear children, I have already told you that there are certain factors which led to these national unification movements in European countries, and those are such as the rising of new middle classes, the rising of new conservatisms, the rising of revolutionary groups. So all these factors which affects them or which promoted them or which inspired them to start these national unification movements in European country. So it is the nationalism movements which helps them to make the modern states in European countries. So it's a time to build the nations. So peoples, when they develop their status in the society, they begin to understand that now it's a time to have rights in the society. It's a time to unify the nations. It's a time to start these nationalism movements in the societies. So all these factors, the industrial revolutions factor which helps these new middle classes to develop in the society, and with this development they developed this process of nationalism movements in European society, because these middle classes peoples, they were working under the control of landlords, but when they develop their status, they are developing the national unification movements, the nationalism movements in European societies, and which helps them to start the nationalism movements in European society. So dear children, thank you for listening to me.